Hello again, everybody. Second Tech is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, October 26, 2015. Being, of course, live tonight from San Diego, California. Still in the Cali, West Coast, West Side. Trying to do it right. Following Hell in a Cell in Los Angeles. With Raw's ratings down the toilet, and the Legends not saving Raw's ratings last week, they needed something big to come back from a very entertaining and decent Hell in a Cell last night. I thought tonight's Raw, coming off a Hell in a Cell, was actually not a bad Raw for the first time in weeks. Felt like fresh air, because, one, you didn't have the same people fighting every fucking week again. You had different matches. Well, some people wrestled each other again. Orange is all, didn't mind them again. And the biggest thing, besides breath of fresh air with fresh guys, no rematches. Usually after Hell in a Cell, rematch Palooza. Not tonight. We didn't see rematches after pay-per-view on Raw. And no Cena. The start of his break. It's gonna feel awesome without Cena. Guys can finally step up their games. And decent matches tonight. And it was all about number one contendership for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship since Kane lost to, well, be more Pacific, Demon Kane lost to Seth Rollins last night. Him getting himself fired as Director of Operations. Cooper Kane getting fired from that. Who's left? Who's next to take on Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? We will find out tonight as Triple H and Stephanie announced to begin Raw that we would have ourselves a little bit of a tournament to see who would face Rollins. The winners of Hell in a Cell, the matches, winner of the matches at the pay-per-view, the main card and also pre-show, would fight for a shot against Rollins. They would compete in matches. And the winner of those 4 matches would face off in a fatal 4-way. So as Triple H Stephanie was talking about that, here comes Roman Reigns coming down to the ring, who defeated Bray Wyatt in Hell in a Cell. In my mind, a very spot-heavy match. Of course, the reviews on my channel. So Roman stared down Rollins, wanting to say that he is the one that's going to be the guy to win this tournament. But to get in the Fatal 4-Way, he would have to face up against Kofi Kingston. One half an attack champs who, of course, defeated the Dudley Boys last night. Of course, Big E was by his side. No Xavier still selling his injuries from the table last week got put through by the Dudleys. No trombone because it was smashed against the Dudleys last night and catalyst for the New Day retaining the titles against the Duds. Glad they weren't facing the Dudleys tonight in some 6-man tag. They were in the 6-man tag. Sorry, I was just bugging me still. So Kofi and Reigns kicked these off, and Kofi looked okay against Reigns with speed and agility of Kofi working in his favor for a little bit. Some big power moves from Reigns getting back in the game for the offensive, and they had a good match, especially with Kofi being the new. Like I said, this is good action tonight. Finally, some good action on Raw tonight. That's what I'm saying. This past 1 weeks. So great action, great moves from both these competitors. But like I said, Kingston looking good. In near form, very back and forth matchup between these two guys. Clotheslines and kicks. But then Reigns got back in the game with the big power moves after Kofi's big offensive flying fury. And at one point in the match, after Kofi got taken down by Reigns and his power moves, He was setting up for a Superman punch. But Big E got on the apron. He got nailed with it. And Kofi was going to try to take advantage of that distraction by nailing Trevor in Paradise. But Reigns stuck it, speared Kofi, 1, 2, 3 victory for Roman Reigns' first spot filled in a Fatal 4-Way main event. So it looks like Reigns might be the guy after all. He was winning up the Authority. We shall see if he is the one that would win the Fatal 4-Way tonight to take on Wildlands. Possibly in Survivor Series. I'm guessing this is. They didn't say when the contender would face Wallens. I'm guessing Survivor Series. So with one spot filled with Reigns defeating Kofi in a fun match to open up things, we're in the next match, our next qualifier. As Cesaro, who won the 6-man tag to open up the show, Hell in a Cell pre-show on last night. I didn't see it because I missed it. I was at a gig, so I missed the pre-show. I didn't see that match yet. Saw the ending when it was highlighted on the pay-per-view. He took on the still IC champion, Kevin Owens. Now, I've been saying this over the last couple of weeks, especially last week, that Raw has been kind of stale because the same guys face up against each other week after week after week, especially when it's after Raw, after pay-per-view Raws, when the same guys face off again. And Owens and Cesaro has been facing off before. But I also said that there's some people that I don't mind they're wrestling each other because there's still great matches like Charlotte and Sasha. And Owens and Cesaro are two other people that I don't get sick of wrestling each other. So it was kind of cool to see Kofi against Reigns. New matchup. And it was fun. And so was this one. These guys always have good matches in the matches against each other. Big balls on the outside. Owens looking good with some big splash moves, trying to be all heelish and stuff. And also trying to look like a pansy. There is some things that they need to work on Owens, like make him more charismatic as a heel and make him not look like a fucking pansy when he's trying to escape many times in the matchup. But he got caught every time by Cesaro. They brought outside the ring a couple of times after Cesaro stopped Owens from escaping. Double clothesline. I thought it was going to be a count out for sure. But they got back in the ring. Cesaro was hoping to swing Owens many times during the match. Various times. And it was one time he was going to do it after nailing his other big moves, including uppercut city limits. Big uppercuts on the outside. Great spots for that uppercut. But then, as he was going for the swing again, mid towards the end of the matchup, while Cesaro was setting it up, Owens rolled out of it, setting up a super kick before setting up his move for multiple times in the match. Power bomb. He nailed it after super kicking Cesaro, blocking the attempt at the swing. 1, 2, 3 victory for Kevin Owens. Second spot filled in our Fatal 4-Way. And a fun showing between these two guys. It didn't matter who won or lost. I like both these guys, so they both, one of them deserved it, but I was like, it's gotta be Owens. He's a champion. And I predicted 2 heels, 2 faces. And I was right on my predictions on who I think was going to be in the Fatal 4-Way. So there you go. Now on to our next scenario. 6-Diva tag as Team Bella, Brie, Nikki, and Alicia Fox would team up against PCB. Back together. Or so we think. I've been saying this for the last couple. I said this on my Hell in a Cell review last night. Paige needs to make up her goddamn mind but whether or not she wants to be heel or not. We thought she turned heel after not champion, but she keeps dragging us along and pulling out chains. I'm a heel. No, I'm not. But tonight, finally, she made up her fucking mind at the end of this match tonight. Despite Paige trying to be on the same pun Paige with trying to pull on a happy face and try to settle her differences with Becky and Charlotte, who had a decent match against Nikki Bella last night for the Divas Championship and winning it, retaining it. They didn't look good early on. It's Paige. It looked like she wasn't going to tag anybody. I thought she was going to try to one up everybody and try to win by herself. Didn't last long as she got isolated in the corner by the Team Bella members, specifically Alicia Fox and Brie Bella, before she got the hot tag to the Divas champ, Charlotte. It was even like, we want Becky chance, as Charlotte tried to look her best against Alicia before Brie got tagged in. And tried to go for a B mode as Charlotte got isolated before the hot tag to Becky to a big ovation. And Becky came like a house of fire. Becky needs to be pushed a lot better. She doesn't, she's being booked right now as Charlotte's Lensky or psychic. Because Becky's equal to both Becky and to both Charlotte and Paige. Like, Becky's like overlooked here in this scenario. And she was great in NXT. Like, she really got into her own before she got into the main roster. She finally got her niche with the steampunk thing. And looked good against Sasha back in May at the takeover when Samoa Joe debuted on the NXT roster. So it's part of Becky's best effort to get back in the game and putting her team back on top. Nikki got tagged in, taking out Lynch with Shaw knocked out of the ring, and so did Paige get knocked out by the Team Bella members and let Becky Lynch all alone to succumb to the rack attack in a 1-2-3 victory for Team Bella. So, this is when, like I said, Paige finally made up her mind. So then, as Charlotte was checking up on Becky after getting rack attacked, Paige set him up. She was like, oh, there's a new Paige. I want to get back together with you guys. Well, it was a ploy, as she beat down both Charlotte and Becky, leading to double rampages on both of them before setting up Charlotte for the PTO. So now that Charlotte and Nikki's feud's over, they have a Charlotte-Paige feud. I think we all knew this was coming. Yes, like a broken record, I've been saying that Charlotte and Sasha needs to happen. But first, they need to take care of a Paige feud with Charlotte because of the jealousy. We saw the scenes planted last month. We thought that the heel turn was complete after Night of Champions, but Paige was going on a back and forth trip. She was good. She was not. It was hot and cold, yes and no. But last night she finally made up her mind. Tonight she finally made up her mind. And is full on heel, unless she decides to reverse it next week. But there is no turning back. There is no changing your mind anymore. You made up your mind now, Paige. Don't fucking change it again. Or WWE Creative, don't make her change her mind again. So there you go. Betcha Paige and Charlotte Survivor Series for sure. We're heading toward that path. We've been heading down that path of possible Paige Charlotte feud. We went through little bumps in the road that shouldn't have been bumps or twists in the road. Should have just been Paige full on heel the whole time, not making her switch back and forth. Making her play mind games. The booking wasn't right on that. But tonight, Paige finally turned full on heel tonight. Now on to our next scenario. The next qualifier. The new United States champion, the returning Alberto Del Rio. Miss Ricardo. I saw Zion in the crowd tonight. Where's Ricardo? But instead of Ricardo, Alberto Del Rio's got, one-time nemesis, Zeb Coulter, who's a real American, wants to bring countries together. Max America. That's going to be a t-shirt, people. Max America. As the founder of Max, one of the co-founders of Max America, he took on Neville tonight. Fun matchup between these two guys. Really good action with these. Del Rio's looking awesome again. Ever since he came back last night, he really gained muscle. I think he gained like at least 20 to 30 pounds of muscle since he left the company. Went on to various organizations, including AAA. Now, AAA, he's currently the AAA Mega Champion. And they mentioned it on the commentary. And it was like, wow, they really mentioned that. Because Triple A was congratulating him, but on the other hand, they're like, dang it, you are a champion, and you appear on WWE television, you have one of their titles. He's probably going to drop it to Triple A soon. But the Del Rio looked fine with some great moves, big nasty kicks, and also trying to go for the cross unbreaker. He hasn't done it yet. Ever since he's returned, he hasn't done the cross unbreaker yet fully. He teased it to the fans, but hasn't done it yet. But despite Del Rio's looking good with some big moves, Neville he looked good in this match. Some big spinning moves, and of course big fly moves. I wish Neville was being used better. Been talking about NXT people floundering on the main roster. Despite Neville's best efforts for the big flying moves to get him back in the game. Some moonsaults. Del Rio got his edge again. I think he looked better than he did when he left the company. He executed the moves better. He looks better in the ring. It improved the night. After Neville's flying moves, it was pure power of Del Rio and his feet that got him the victory. As he attacked Neville outside the ring, trips him up into the tree of woe, setting him up for a foot stomp off the top of the rope. That was a cool move from Del Rio. Setting up the pin, 1, 2, 3 victory from Del Rio, giving himself the third spot in our match tonight. The Fatal 4-Way to determine the number one contender for Seth Rollins. Now we have ourselves a 6-man tag with the Dudleys teaming up with Ryback to take on Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barrett, who last night and last week, the same old shit as they took on the same 3 guys last night, being Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville. But tonight they take on 3 different guys, Dudleys and Ryback, who are kind of in between feuds right now because they lost both their respective title matches last night. Dudley's losing again to New Day. At least this time they won clean, despite a almost DQ, which I'm glad it wasn't. I was like watching that match. I was like, no DQ against Dudley's and New Day. And Ryback, who lost to Kevin Owens last night. So at least two teams trying to get on the rebound following those losses last night. And they look good early on. With a brawl breaking out to begin the match, just all 6 guys in the ring just brawling until, of course, Diva got in there. And got isolated in the corner by Sheamus along with King Barrett. And Rusev, like everyone isolating Devon for a while. Power moves from the heels. Of course, the fans in San Diego. I think the fans in San Diego was okay tonight. Now as goes LA's crowd. With, of course, the complimentary, the now stationary, you look stupid chance for Sheamus when he came in. So after Devon's isolation, he finally broke free from the heel side of the ring. A decent 6-man tag. Tagging in Ryback, he got booed last night and got kind of booed tonight as well. I think the scene through I thought Ryback should have been pushed a lot better. He is a hard-hitting guy. He's stiff, but he's okay. So then Ryback came in with some big moves. With a double team of Devon before tagging in Bubba Ray. Triple meat. That was kind of cool. Like Devon and Bubba did the feed me more. Then triple meat hooks to all the heels. Which led to the Waya! And then Devon! Ryback! Get the tables! But with Bubba Ray and Ryback getting the tables, actually Devon and Ryback looking for tables, Bubba, who was the legal guy, was distracted by that and was left all alone in the ring to get rolled up by King Barrett with the tights to get the pin and the victory for their team. With Devon and Ryback not able to help, the heels capitalized on the distraction of them trying to get a table. So there you go. The heels get the victory. Rusev, Barrett, and Sheamus. So there you go. Now on to our next scenario. Bray Wyatt came out talking about what he did last night at Hell in a Cell against The Undertaker. For the second year in a row, Bray Wyatt made Hell in a Cell the pay-per-view, and on an odd note, he interfered last year in the Hell in a Cell match on a great one, despite that ending when Bray Wyatt came in during Seth Rollins' match against Dean Ambrose. And this year, he attacked the at least it was after the match. After the match, he came in, but it was like oddly placed because Taker was getting a big ovation. But it kind of made sense because Taker is celebrating 25 years. They're hinting he was going to appear at Survivor Series this year because this is the 25th anniversary of his debut. So he needs someone to work with. And to the guy he beat at WrestleMania, Bray Wyatt, who looked better than he did against Taker in the feud building up to Mania. As he and the Wyatts beat down Taker and dragged him out. They carried him out. And he said that attacking Taker last night, especially after losing to Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell last night, was his personal resurrection. That somewhere right now Taker's soul is being ripped apart. Probably by his Wyatt members who beat him up last night and dragged him out of the arena. And he's like, everybody at home, bow your heads, put your hand to the TV. And give a moment of silence for Taker's lost and rotted soul. Rest in peace, Phenom. That was kind of interesting. He said his catchphrase. But then here comes Demon Kane to come down and beat up Bray to avenge what they did to Taker last night. But then here comes the rest of the Wyatt clan. Roman, Strowman, and Harper. Did a beatdown on Kane exactly like they did to Taker at Hell in a Cell. So beat down on Kane, and he ended up being like Taker, beating down his fight trying to go for a double choke slam. That's when Strowman came in to block that, and he was just beastly as usual. Before the beatdown really came down on Kane, the numbers game, and dragged him out, carried him out like they did Taker. They took him to some smoky area in the back. Now, we all kind of knew that Taker was probably going to be in a match against Wyatt at Survivor Series, stemming from the build-up we saw last night after the match against Lesnar. But, was it going to be a singles match or a Survivor Series match? Or maybe a tag team match? Because we saw Wyatt family take down both Brothers of Destruction. Take down both Taker and Kane. So we could have ourselves a tag team match involving Rowan and Harper against Taker and Kane, or making it 4-on-4. But I think 4-on-4 would be cool. You know, I want more traditional Survivor Series matches this year. I think everybody agrees with me. Like, we need more traditional Survivor Series matches every year. But we usually get maybe like 2 if we're lucky. 3 if we get a Divas one. But we shall see how many we get this year. But doesn't matter what they do. Kane and Taker will probably team up against the Wyatts, whether it's a 4-on-4 or maybe likely a tag team affair with 2 Wyatts against Kane and Taker. So we shall see the Brothers of Destruction get back together to take on the Wyatts. 2-on-2, 4-on-4. It don't matter. And it was kind of interesting when they were pulling out Kane. Bray Wyatt brought back something from his repertoire. He was once again singing as he was dragging Kane to an undisclosed area, smoking. He's got the whole world in his hands. God, he hasn't done that in a while. He probably stopped doing that because the fans were singing and gave him a babyface pop for that. But he did it again tonight. So on to our next matchup. The final slot of our Fatal 4-Way would be filled as Dolph Ziggler would take on Big E. Not before an appearance from the recently debuted Tyler Breeze, who debuted on SmackDown this past Thursday. I thought he'd be the one to take on Cena for the Open Challenge. Many people speculating it, including myself. But it was Del Rio. And I said this in my Hell in a Cell review last night. Although I love seeing Del Rio back and him being the one to beat Cena, I still think in my mind it should have been Breeze. Would have been a really stronger debut than being aligned with Summer fucking Rae. In a bad scenario. Talking about NXT guys floundering, but it looked good. He came in as Ziggler came in. He had his own like, little VIP section for him and Summer Rae as they were watching Dolph Ziggler take on Big E. Now, this was a very fun match between these two guys. Really good. Probably one of my favorite matches of the 4 matches we had tonight in the tournament to determine who would be in the Fatal 4. This is probably one of my favorite matches. Because Big E looked great, and so did Ziggler. And there was some comedy moments involving the VIP booth when Big E kind of took one of Tyler Breeze's drinks. And I thought Tyler Breeze would get involved in the match. Thankfully, he didn't. But we all seen a Ziggler Breeze feud. I think that was like going to happen nonetheless. Like we all knew when Ziggler would see Breeze come in the main roster. I think we all knew Ziggler and Breeze were going to collide in some way because Breeze has been compared to Dolph Ziggler. So nice to see these guys feud against each other. Curious to see a proper match. But killing against these two, it was back and forth action with Ziggler going numerous times for the zigzag. And famous sir, he did nail both of them eventually in the match. And the Big E looked great, with some help from Kofi looking on. And not much from Breeze, who was just an observer, some security guy, who didn't reprimand Big E after he took one of Breeze's drinks. After it was somewhere his drink. Hey. It was kind of a funny little comedy spot. They brought out, it was like some great spots, and the fans loved it. It was like, this is awesome shit. It was a very fun match. Especially when we don't see these guys wrestle each other. Finally, new fresh matches. The same guys fighting the same fucking opponents every damn week. Maybe they're always getting on the right track. They don't need legends to hype up ratings. They need fresh new matchups. Building up new people. Now that Cena's gone, we shall see what they do with it. If they finally give guys the opportunity to shine like Neville and Ambrose. Speaking of people need to step away from being people's sidekicks, like Becky should step away from being Charlotte's sidekick. Ambrose needs to break away from being Roman Reigns' sidekick. That's what he's getting billed at, booked at. You know? Especially since he wasn't even in a match last night since Owen was taken out. By the way, he is really injured. I already injured is all by mowing the lawn or something stupid. So there you go. So Spike Biggie looking good. The big splash. I love when he like did a splash. He rotated his body. That was cool. And then the unicorn team's funny. Adding more comedic factor, especially with, as I mentioned, Xavier still being up with injuries to the Dudleys. Following some big moves from Big E, Ziggler came back with big moves, including the big super kick. After he got nailed against the post, the turnbuckle post, and really got woozied around. And that's when they brought on the outside, and Big E took some of his drink. But then Big E later on got whammed against the wing post, setting up the zigzag for Ziggler. The 1-2-3 victory for Ziggler, filling that final spot. After range 1, I was like, it's going to be Owens, Del Rio, because he does not need to lose the first night after he won the championship, despite the fact I love Neville. And Ziggler was going to win his match. So those were your 4 guys. Before that, we had a promotion for the cancer research. This is probably the last night that Raw's going to be pink because it's the end of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Natalya's O'Neill putting together a decent speech, great speech, about the WWE's efforts to support the Susan G. Komen Foundation, legitimacy or not. Because some people say that they're just whipping people off, but I don't think so. We shall see what's fact and what's fiction about these cancer benefits. Good causes, but sometimes money should go to white people, but they don't. Sometimes. So, but there you go. WWE's trying to make a good cause there. Then main event, the Fatal 4-Way between Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Del Rio, and Roman Reigns to determine the number 1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. With Seth Rollins at ringside to see who would face off against him. I'm glad Rollins just stayed at commentary and didn't get involved in the match. And for being a Fatal 4-Way, very fun. You know, there was balls on the outside, including by the announce table where Rollins was, and I thought it would lead to Rollins maybe getting involved because they were kind of getting very close to him. After Reigns got nailed against the table by Owens, like all four guys had great opportunities to shine in this match. A very fun fatal four-way between these four gentlemen. Big moves from Owens, big moves from Del Rio, big kicks, big splashes, big action from all four of these guys. With the heels kind of teaming up against the baby faces before they would probably brawl amongst themselves to see between the two of them who was going to face Rollins. Well, that plan didn't work out for the heels. As Ziggler was coming in with some big moves, some super kicks. Even Reigns got some super kicks from Ziggler at some point after nearing some Superman punches. But then Owens looked good in the match with some big moves, including, of course, this cannonball splashes on both Ziggler and Del Rio. Before Reigns got involved, they're trying to set up for the Powerbomb. But as he was setting up for the Powerbomb, in midair, Superman punch to Owens from Reigns, setting up the spear. In 1, 2, 3 victory. Roman Reigns won. Shocker. Nah, I think we all knew Reigns was going to be the guy to win this match. It was kind of a little bit predictable tonight. Only predictable thing on Raw. Reigns would win this thing. One, he interrupted the Authority to begin the show, taunting Rollins. Two, they hinted on Reigns being the next number one contender on WWE's website to preview Raw tonight, saying that after he beat Wyatt, is a world title match in Reigns' future. And it is now, as he stared down Rollins following his win. That's how he ended Raw, with Reigns and Rollins staring against each other. Now, Reigns, yes, got screwed over by Rollins, interfering and getting involved in the match at Mania against Lesnar, cashing in Money in the Bank for the first time ever at Mania, which I called at the Royal Rumble. Probably some other people predicted it. You know, I probably wasn't the only one who thought that, especially after the fans booed Reigns. It was like the only saving grace WWE had to save WrestleMania with the fans trolling it, is to have something shocking distract them like Reigns not winning, let alone Rollins cashing in at Mania, which I was right. Many people, probably other people, like I said, called it, but I did. But Reigns hasn't had a proper one-on-one match. He was in a fatal four-way, I think, back in Extreme Rules with Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, of course. So he has had a proper one-on-one match with Rollins, and after feuding with Wyatt, and it ended last night in Hell in a Cell. Now he's feuding with Rollins for the world title, which he'll probably win one day. I said, after Mania, after he lost, I said his time is coming. But not at that time. He's gotten better wrestling-wise. His mic skills, as we saw a few weeks ago, still need some work. Way need some work. But we shall see what happens between Rollins and Reigns. I'm guessing Survivor Series. Didn't say when the number one contender would face Rollins. But I'm guessing Survivor Series. These two will face off for the WWE Whatever Championship. We're heading towards that. We're heading down that route. We're heading down a Charlotte Paige feud. Probably at Survivor Series. Match between Taker and Kane against the Wyatts. Whether it's 2-on-2 or 4-on-4, time shall tell. So there you go. Decent more than first war in a while. It felt fresh. It felt new. Some fun matches. The same old people fighting. And kind of building up Survivor Series better than it did in Hell in a Cell. See if this keeps up. They still got a long way to go. But this might be the right direction unless they trip themselves like the Lions. Like the Lions had one good week winning against the Bears, and then once you were thinking, oh, they beat the Bears, they gotta win, they're gonna be good again. Oh, they choked against Minnesota again? Fuck the Lions. That's what I hope WWE doesn't do. Like, they have one good week and then suck the next week like the Lions did. Gotta make more Lions jokes. 1-15, here they come. So that is it for my Raw review. Thank you very much for watching. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. See ya. Yeah.